Hello, I'm Doug, and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel, and we have arrived at episode number 11 of Stinky Cheeses, where we're looking at this washed-rind cheese called Willoughby from the farms at Jasper Hill. And then this is all happening in the wrong order because we've already looked at a special edition of Willoughby, which was washed in a beer, in an ale. And this is just the regular version, which I came across after that other one. So I'm going to go ahead and try this. I was wondering what the normal notes of the Willoughby were and what was contributed by just the normal rind and what was contributed by the beer. But we'll just dive into this one and find out what we think of Willoughby. So there's some information on the back of the label that says it pairs well with a sour ale, with rosé, with apricots, and with cured meat. So, I think that's going to let me open this up very easily. So, I've been going through these washed-rind cheeses that I call stinky cheeses based on the Taleggio Gateway and Listhorpe's book, The Book of Cheese. And Willoughby is not listed in here, but it does describe lots of orange-rinded cheeses that have bad aromas and okay flavors. But Willoughby's not listed, but it certainly has all the characteristics. It's very orange, and it smells bad. So that's your first sign. This is one of those washed-rind cheeses with Brevibacterium linens. So there's the usual color and the way that Jasper Hill Farms does their cheese. So I guess I can put that out there. Yep, should have brought a napkin. So that is a nice looking cheese, and this has been out for a couple hours, so it is at room temperature and should be fairly soft. We just don't know how runny and soft it's going to be on the inside. That will determine. Oh look, it is like the other Willoughby we had. It's kind of like soft butter, maybe as soft as room temperature butter. I'm going to try to get a quarter of it just to make it easy to cut and handle. And this rind is gross to touch because it's so sticky and you can tell something's growing on the outside. And don't think I'll use the big knife anymore. So even though the aroma around me is kind of unpleasant, I think the cheese is going to have some just modestly funky flavors. So mostly it'll be pretty good. I think I'll like it. But before we start eating and tasting, let me get you to like this video, leave questions and comments down below, share it with friends, subscribe to the channel, and click on that bell to get notified when the new videos come out. And I am seeing that this is going to be a very soft cheese with almost a buttery-like texture. So I'm just going to take a little taste. The smell is pretty typical for this thing, and not terribly intense. It's bad, but it doesn't fill up the whole room. So here goes the flavor of Willoughby. So there's nice saltiness to it. There's a set of savory notes, like reminiscent of meat or barbecue or something like that. And the dairy notes are pretty much buried. They're gone. All the other flavors are stronger than that. But you have a dairy-ish mouthfeel. Fat, butter fat, cream, that sort of fatty mouthfeel. So I think it's going to be somewhat similar to the other Willoughby. So it's like, look how soft. So got it on a whole grain, got it on this whole grain seeded cracker with no wheat. So let's dive in. Oh yes, goes really well with that cracker. And savory notes pop out and the saltiness pops out. So that is delicious. Trying to decide if it's totally devoid of dairy notes or if it's just the rind and the organisms that are producing all the flavor here. So, got it on a low salt Triscuit, which has had a strong weedy taste in the past. Let's see. It goes really well. All the savory notes and saltiness and the mouthfeel go really good with that cracker. Good combination. Good overall effect. Yeah, I think most people are going to like this cheese. Now I'm looking at a sourdough rye cracker. I can just manipulate the long piece of cheese. You'll see how this very plain and not very salted cracker gets along with the Willoughby. The rye notes in the cracker are pretty loud. But yeah, I'm getting some cheese notes there. Yeah, that's a good overall effect. Very creamy and salty and savory. And gets along just fine with that rye. Wow, this is breaking all over the place. Now, gonna put this on a salty flatbread and hope I can, yeah, I got enough here. Don't seem to have a piece of rind with that one, it's very small. So just the cheese and flatbread. Hard, crunchy flatbread. Yeah, there's a tanginess to the cheese that comes through on most of these crackers. The savory notes are pseudo meaty. So yeah, I think it's working with everything. And a pretty good cheese that's overall fairly mild. Yeah, come on, pick it up. So this piece has quite a bit of rind on it. And it gets like a cheese. And there's rosemary in the cracker, which is very strong and aromatic. So let's see how all this gamish gets along. Oh. It's a rosemary bomb. Very aromatic, fills up my whole oral nasal cavity. With that rosemary, that goes along with the cheese so well. All the other savory notes are blending right in with that to make it delicious. Yes, that's great. So, I think I've about done all my crackers. So, let me try putting it inside a little piece of celery. If I can get the right piece cut to lay it in there. I don't want to work against the rind too much, but here's a good piece of rind on the other side of this. It's easy to sculpt and mold into the little trough in the celery. So let's give this a try. Okay, that goes. That's somewhat reminiscent of those cream cheese based spreads that go into celery sometimes. But this is a little bit funkier and a little bit fatter. Nothing wrong with that really. But I'm not sure it's a big success. But it's one way to eat the cheese. Getting rid of the celery notes there. And now I'm grabbing a Smyrna fig that's been cut open. And I'm just going to put the cheese right on that. So, Willoughby and the Smyrna fig. Oh, darker notes from the fruit. And very crunchy seeds. Go really well with the cheese. Creaminess, the mouthfeel, and the not quite dairy notes, but dairy-like things pop out a little more than any of the other ways I've eaten it. So, yeah, that one worked. Then if it doesn't slip out of my hand, I'm going to try a piece of fresh pineapple. It's very sweet, very juicy, and may slip at any point. But a good slug of cheese with a good portion of rind on it. So here goes with pineapple. Yeah, that's good. A creaminess and the pineapple just meshed together very well. And I can't say I got a lot of flavors from the cheese, but the textures worked okay together. Kind of surprising. Sometimes that doesn't work. And another thing that has a risk of failing is a red pear, which is very juicy, very wet, very soft, and a piece of cheese that has quite a bit of rind on it. So these often disappear at different rates. That worked. I worked on keeping it all together in a big mass while I chewed it up. And there's plenty of pear character and plenty of cheese character. That was good. Wow, fruity, bright. If you can call a pear bright, this pear was really good. So I would say that was successful. So I think this Willoughby is going to be a crowd pleaser. It's got a lot of mild flavors that are real interesting. And I don't think it's too funky for most people, so this is pretty good. And we only have one more cheese left that I can find in my area, so I'm expecting the next video to be the last one in the Stinky Cheese series. So come back for all that, and cheers.